But for a quick walkthrough as we wait for the templates. I mean, all my life, I've worked with civil society organizations, NGOs, from the day I started working to today. So you ask me business, I say, yeah, I know you have to invest and somehow, but working with the models directly, I haven't. But over the years, I also know that civil society organizations are quite central in the way we do business. And I think the direction we are going into right now, and in reflection on, I mean, you see almost everywhere sustainability, SDGs, be fairer, a fairer earth, greener earth. We have no escape. The NGOs and the business sectors are going to merge closer. And in my interest, talking today and in relation to business, especially in Africa, also rolls back to about 3 years ago when I started the organization I'm going to talk about, which is starting to be a bit a bit scary. maybe we should reverse a bit and then I come back again. And but anyway, if you ask me, the close to 18 years I've worked with civil society organizations in Africa and here in Europe, the kind of people I've worked with, it's young people. It's young people that want to change their lives. It's young people that are coming from communities that are underserved, that want to change the context and the vilkår, you say, in Danish, of those communities. It's normally, it's not the young people that have made it. That's the lot of the people we work with in civil society organizations. Now, when you look at the coordinators, the program coordinators, the guys that write the proposals that we work with, yes, they are, most of them have an access to a certain network, access to a certain resource lot, but again, it's crumbling, it's fragile. It takes a few changes in the society and those things fall again. So when we started talking with the Pruden, and he said, I want to start this black in business. I want more black business people in the diaspora, focusing more on developing their home countries. I think, but that's exactly what we want to do, actually. And if I sum up all the years that I've been working with civil society organizations and writing projects and taking the project and working with it for 1 year and 2 years and closing it and writing a really good report, and then when you go back 6 months later to the people you worked with and where are the guys we worked with here? Where are the guys that were active? And they are gone again? Man, then you have to question yourself. You have to start thinking, we need a new model of working with development. And I'm not saying it's wrong, the model we are using right now of projects, but we want to find a way, we need to find of how you bring in funding with projects, but get that funding to create lasting impact. What I'm looking for in projects right now is, do they create social capital for the young people we are working with? Do they create employment? Do they create possibilities for young people to gain skills that are context aware? And therefore, when we leave, they can translate those skills into something they can use locally, in the local context they are. I think that's a more sustainable way to go. Because I can come and talk about advocacy. I mean, I come from Uganda. And if you go to Facebook or YouTube and you look at the videos the last 2 months, Now, come on, tell me about advocacy. I mean, just yesterday we had a video of 38 people killed in central Uganda because of a political campaign. A presidential candidate going with his motorcade and supporters, and the army comes out and shoots them. Now, who comes from NGOs here? Who has been talking about 30 years of advocacy? Where is the advocacy there? Why aren't we standing up? But we are seeing the Facebook, the YouTube videos and saying, oh, it's a pity, sharing them, putting mimics, sad faces. And, you know, so things like that will tell you a story that if we are not genuine as diaspora right here in Copenhagen and in other cities in Europe, to say things the way we see them and the way we believe change can come to that continent where we come from, then we are being hypocritical ourselves. Then we start living a life where we know things are not going the right way, but because that's the norm, we will do that. We will keep flowing with the norm. Prudent, forget those templates. I'm just gonna freestyle. So, who is Andrew? Because that's one of my first templates. I'm gonna go there. Well, I came to this country 10 years ago. Many of you have been here longer. I live on Norbro, not very far from here, at the junction of Rosingsgale and Tensby. With my wife, we have 2 babies. I call them babies. My son is 10, my daughter is 8. When you ask me, people ask me, so how do you explain it? How do you see yourself? I say, well, first and foremost, I see myself as a father. Because that has a history to it. It has a history that tells me that if I'm not present in these 2 people's lives, and if I can't model them, then I'm fooling myself to do development. Then it's a joke. Then people normally ask me, so who are you on other levels, professionally? Who are you? I say, well, I do so many things. The last 6 years I've been working with an organization, you probably have heard about it, Crossing Borders, as a program coordinator, fundraiser, daily functioneer, administration, name it. But after 6 years, I thought to myself, the job I'm doing, sitting in an office, writing proposals based on a strategy that is based on let's do a project and come out, that's okay. We can continue doing that. But I think we need models that are different. A model that says, when we do a project, we do an impact one. With context in thought, with possibilities for acceleration of the local communities we are working with possibilities for engendering, and not engendering because advocacy says that, not because project management says that, but because we know that the context we are working with is people do not need skills to be politically analytical, but people need skills to earn and send their kids to school, to start small businesses and see them grow. In the rural places where we focus as Civil Connections, we want to create a context where the schools are functional. Not schools that are built, and when the rain comes, it washes them away, or not schools that are built, and there are no teachers teaching students. Can we go there? And can we genuinely invest in that? So 3 years ago, we started a little organization. It's called Civil Connections Community Foundation. The idea is very simple. We want, one, to identify impact projects. Focus commonly unreached, and in brackets, especially rural. And I can give you reasons why it's rural. How do we do this? We mix four things. One, we want to actually create a context where if we see someone that's doing a great job, we lift them up. We talk about them. So our first objective is talk about it, amplify, talk about it, make noise about these people. Because we have seen it. We have seen that the business angels do that. When people in the business sector see someone coming up with an idea, they invest in them. They make noise about them. When we see small civil society organizations starting, we normally say, what will they achieve? So we actually want to make noise about these people. Two, we know that one of the biggest problems civil society organizations face is in direct competition with their peers, the business ideas, innovation, is capital, funding. So we look for funding. We fundraise. So one of the things I do almost every day is being on phone with some guy that's developing a concept and saying, so what do you need? What would you need? What would you use that funding for? What would help you to actually grow that idea? Three, we know that when people start an idea, especially a social context idea, and things don't fall in place as fast as they want, they give up. They do. And you also know it in business. You give up because you try today and you try and you try and nothing comes through. And I know the funding terrain. If you're not 1 year, if you don't have audited accounts, if you don't have an accounting system, if you don't have a monitoring system, every time you come to seek support, there is another condition. It's almost impossible for a rural guy in Uganda to do this. So what we actually say is we want to capacitate and motivate them. One of the projects we are doing in rural Uganda, Yumbe district, is we wanted to do a project with a partner in Yumbe district. The partner didn't have the qualifications. We told the funder, we want to be the securities of that project. And they say, but you know the implication, if they make a mistake, you're going to pay. I say, yeah, well, but we believe in the idea. So we actually want to stand in security because we can decide to be secure, I mean. We can decide to be secure, but we can also decide to trust them and say, we think the idea will work, so let's try. And then the last one is to create this network of people that go in and actually see these ideas. Because you see this in the business sector. It works. I mean, the event today, I'm sure many of you came because you wanted to network. You know? So our joining Black in Business is a very simple thing. We say, if we can create space for Black in business to grow, then we want to be part of the investments terrain. Then we want to be part of that. And I mean, I can go on and on. I don't think I still have more time, Proden. Maybe I should start cutting down. Yeah. But there is a particular slide that I want. If you go back a little, no, down. I mean, that's me. I would say a lot of those things, and then we go to the next, to the next, to the next. No, downwards, the other side, the other way. We continue. There. Today I was reading a paper. I like to read these models because if you do not follow what's happening in the market you're in, well, you can have a lot of ideas. But there's something that comes up almost every day in the text we are reading. And today I was reading something, I don't know if you know this McKinsey Institute. They have been quite vibrant around the COVID context. And when the Black Lives Movement started, they simply took it and started writing. They have huge research. Go to our Facebook page. I have put a video of one of their analysts talking about how you could help black communities come into the mainstream economic sector. And today, the article I wrote was, McKinsey is starting an institute for black economic mobility. And I was thinking, come on, McKinsey, who do you call yourself starting a black mobility institute? And of course you can start with questioning that. But I also say, well, then let's see what you have. And when you read their analysis, it's quite interesting. And I could tell you that we have always said these things, but I want to reiterate them. And I want to resound that the reason I stand here in union with Prudent and all of you guys is because we have real challenges. And those challenges will not be sorted out if we remain in our apartments and we go on every day to our jobs and we do them and we come back and yes, we raise our kids. But if I find a guy, a woman, a lady that's doing business and that's black and that can support the movement in one way or another, I think we should give that a chance. I think we should. I think we should learn a way of coming together, back to what Prudent was talking about here, that we have these knowledge pockets. We have the history. We have the context awareness. We have gained different skills. Many of us have studied and have skill sets. But here is something that I want to take with you. One, if you're gonna change, if you're gonna work out something like this, coming together to do something together to lift our countries, then we need to find a way we unite on a common vision. We have to find a way. It doesn't mean that everyone should work with that vision, but understanding that that vision is important for us to reach. Understanding that investing in our local communities on a genuine level is important for us to do. Two, coordinate and collaborate. And I like the word they use here, via a central backbone. Because trust me, we've also seen, since colonization, the countries were broken. You can never gather. So if you can't find a central unifying backbone, we can make noise in different corners. But if those are still very broken, then we will not get it. We will take much longer. Three, we need to secure adequate and appropriate funding and resourcing. In one of my slides, I was putting some statistics, and if you look at the diaspora flows from Europe and America and other places to Africa, they are bigger. They are much bigger than official aid. But what are they doing? Is there a way we can find models that of course we should give to our families? But what if we look at models that can actually lift communities and together with that lift our families? And then ensuring this accountability, because we see it in our countries. My country is not accountable. Aid keeps on getting lost. So even within the B&B, We need that accountability. And lastly, we need to get this broad stakeholdership. And please find this article from today, Mackenzie, and read it. All this analysis is there. Thanks a lot. And I hope you have a good conversation today.